All rise. As in every Sequatchie County meeting, we're going to start out God before the flag. So I'm going to ask Tommy Johnson to lead us in prayer today, and I'm going to ask his young son Andrew to do the pledge after that. But Tommy, you've got a few words for us tonight as well.
Good evening, everyone. As many of you have heard, we have lost another cornerstone person of our community, Mr. David Barker. Before we recognize a moment of silence on his behalf, I have to say, served with him as a county commissioner. He was our county executive. He was a school teacher. He was a principal. He was also a guidance counselor to many young people in this county. So once again, we have lost another cornerstone person of our community. So join me to honor Mr. David Barker with a moment of silence. Let us pray. Our most kind and loving Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you once again for this day. Lord, we thank you for all your many blessings. We thank you most of all, God, for your wonderful gift, and that's the gift of salvation. We thank you tonight for everyone assembled here tonight and their interest in this meeting. We pray, God, that you would bless us everyone and give us the humility to serve and to give back as you see fit, as you gave to each and every one of us. Lord, please be with all the sickness and afflictions throughout our county and our community. And we pray, God, your blessings upon every one of them. Please bless our county, our state, and our country. We love you, Lord. We praise you and thank you for all that you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. AJ?
Please join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. You guys will have to excuse me. I'm a little under the weather, so we're going to struggle through this tonight. We've got some folks I want to recognize. First and foremost, BTC Fiber is here. Ethan, we appreciate what you guys do, and thank you again for doing it. So, let's get started here. Madam Clerk, the roll call, please.
Chester Sherrill.
Yes.
Linda Lewandowski.
Yes.
Brian Rubin.
Here.
Blaine Lang.
Here.
James Freeland.
Here.
Brian Walker.
Here.
Joel Dodson. Here. James Wilson.
Here.
Jeff Barger.
Here.
Paul Powell.
Here.
Michael Hudson.
Here.
June Dishman. Frank Silver.
Here.
Susie Bostic. Here. Wayne Clemens.
Here.
Tommy Johnson.
Here.
Tommy Nero. Jeff Mackey.
Here.
We have a quorum, I guess. Commissioners, in your package, you should have received the minutes from the September 16th, 24 meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve said minutes.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Ruling and a second from J. Mack. Any questions? Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving said minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Hearing none, said minutes hereby pass. Before we get into the, Ms. Nisha, do we have the public comments? Anybody want to speak or sing the national anthem tonight for us? That'd be fine. Okay. First and foremost, I want to welcome our newest commissioner, James Wilson, from the 4th District. James is newly elected and a proud new father of daughter number 3 yesterday. So, Mr. Wilson, congratulations. I'm going to call on my good friend John Harmon to come forward. We have some special people here that we want to recognize, and Mr. Harmon, take it away, sir.
Executive Cartwright, members of the commission, the Sequatchie County Heritage Farm Committee has met again. We're excited that we have another 8 family farms that have been approved. That makes our number 16. It makes 16. Tonight we're just going to recognize 6 of those farms. One family all the family couldn't be here tonight, so we're going to put it off till the next county commission meeting. And hopefully we'll have a few more farms to be approved. I do want to, before we get started, I got a little text message from somebody, very hateful at the beginning. Just wanted to let you know. But I had no idea where this text message come, but I did want to I wanted to read this to you. It says, John Harmon with 4 exclamation points. When I see you, I don't know whether to slap you silly or shake your hand. This 100-year farm thing has been a blessing and a curse. Okay, curse words. Laugh out loud. But the most fascinating, rewarding thing I've been a part of. I have dug, read, pieced, transcribed historical records of my ancestors. It's been a delightful experience to read their stories in the deed work, things that were not passed down to us in conversation. Kendra Boyd needs a Medal of Honor, and her staff, for her hard work. I'm wrapping it up now that the pieces and the mysterious things that we have uncovered are sorted out. All kidding aside, it's been a wonderful thing to be a part of. That's what it's all about, folks. And I told this person, I said, I want you to just think about our grandparents, how proud they would be of them and their parents and their grandparents being recognized after centuries. So I just thought that was pretty special. Yes, the paperwork is challenging, and it can be challenging, but it is all worth it. It's all worth it. So that being said, I don't want to take up much more of the commission's time, but we do thank the county commission and county executive for that support of our family farms. That being said, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Barker.
Mr. Harmon asked me to reread this proclamation. Commissioners, you're going to get tired of it, but I'm telling you, it's an honor to get to do this. This proclamation is to recognize Sequatchie County Heritage Farms have been family owned for over 100 years. Whereas the Sequatchie County Heritage Farm Program was established to recognize and preserve the agricultural and farming heritage and history of Sequatchie County, Tennessee, and whereas this recognition acknowledges the farms and families for their continued commitment in preserving the rich family heritage and legacy that laid the foundation of our community. And whereas the identified Sequatchie County farms have been family owned and farmed for 100 years are to be recognized and honored for their legacy in Sequatchie County. Now therefore I, D. Keith Cartwright, Sequatchie County Executive, do hereby proclaim this recognition for Sequatchie County's 100-year heritage farms this 18th day of November 2024. The first one we'd like to recognize is the Allen Farm. If the Allen family would come forward, please.
You're taking
Who's getting?
one of them. One of the older ones.
Where'd I go?
Right up front.
Ready?
You gotta look forward.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
The next one is the Cookston Picket Farm.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
Farm, i.e. the cookie jar. We got to get that one straight.
Y'all bring a sample
No,
tonight?
we're not. All or somebody else. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
The Meadowbrook Farm. We just talked about this. Can you get everybody?
So can I get one of y'all over here? Sorry. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Ray Pickett Farm. Except this one.
Keith, you got a smile.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And the Stewart Family Farm.
Uh-huh.
That's us too.
That means 200, wait a minute, who's 200 years old?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, for the families, the next process to this is what'll happen is I'll notify you, and the committee would like to come out to your farm, and the committee will present you the Heritage Farm, Sequatchie County Heritage Farm sign. And that way the committee can, and then the Tribune will be there also to take the story and document that. And the Tribune has been gracious enough to do a story every week that we have a family farm. So in the next week, we'll be contacting you to try to schedule a time to come present the sign for you and the Tribune. And also the Chamber of Commerce will give you a certificate also. And if you're inside the city limits, I think there is one here that we didn't mention tonight, but Mr. Boyd is here. If you would stand, Mr. Boyd. The Boyd Farm, they have 2 farms, one on Fredonia Mountain and one in the city limits here that qualify, but the whole family couldn't be here. But the city of Dunlap will present them a certificate, proclamation, I should say, recognizing that inside the city. Members of the commission, Executive Cartwright, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, John. I just want to say to each family, family farm really means family, and it's great to see the turnout and those associations connected with farming. So again, congratulations. So to be respective of time, this is going to get long and drawn out and boring for a lot of you guys. So if you want to ease out, you're not going to offend anybody. So. Safe travels.
Well, the crowd we have tonight,
tell everybody to look at their seats for the prize.
Good to see old friends and carrying on the legacy. Okay, as part, Madam Trustee, as part of the public record, I would like to make part of the minutes tonight the cash flow analysis from the county executive's office. A report from the county executive clarification of section 5 of resolution 797 that basically says any excess funding, we've been doing this for years, but you know, I just want to clarify, audit's not asked for this, anybody hasn't. Any excess funding we get, as always, as far as I know, is rolled into the general fund. That's just puts it in writing. So we've got a tough auditor this year, and I really did that for her because she may be asking for it. So we'll make that part of the public record. Also, the month-to-date trustee report, we'll make that part of county public record. Okay, I think that covered all those incidentals. Mr. Higgins, are you here from the highway department, sir? Come
Yeah, am I first?
You first tonight.
John had me built up. I thought he was gonna tell me he got cussed at, yelled at, fussed at like we do. He let me way down. But anyhow, I got you a 3-month running gas tax revenue average here, so you can kind of look at what's coming in over the past 3 years for each month. In the attachments, we've got a current work activities of what we plan on doing the next few weeks. Balance sheets in there for you guys to look at, gals. And attachment C is a surplus equipment list, and that's something, I guess, are we gonna try to approve that tonight, or what are we gonna do?
Yes, the surplus.
Yeah.
We'll do that in the body of the, in the budget committee.
Okay, all right. And I've got attached a purchasing policy we need to get approved.
Yeah, that's in the new business part. We'll cover that.
Okay, and then I put an employee policy. I put these updates in here through the months when we do change something, but I went ahead and put a whole new one in here if y'all need to look at it, and if we need to question it next time, whatever. And then if you'll look at attachment F, we've got a bridge project we've been trying to get off the ground for several months now, and I put the engineer for the state aid money for us to use to give us a timetable of what we got to do to get that built next year. And I put a copy of the letter that I sent to Mayor Hood so they could get that water line moved on, I think it's June 1st. It needs to be moved before or on that date so we can put our bridge project in. Cost went up about 20%. And we need to try to get it built before it goes up again, because it's starting to eat into our state aid money that we don't have a whole lot of. And then other than that, probably the only other thing I want to talk about, I got a phone call from Linda the other day, last Thursday to be exact, where Northwest Utility District started a water line project out on Lewis, Chapel Mountain, or Henson Gap Road. When they put water lines and stuff on the right of way, they need to notify the county road office, which they did not. When it goes through the design process, we need to be involved so we can tell them what our requirements are, not just the water companies, which they did not. And so they're having to revise those plans, and I'm having to keep an employee out there with a truck to keep an eye on them and take pictures of the areas they're getting too close to the road, because they're getting so close to the road, we're going to lose parts of the road up through there because they're not listening. So the only thing we're going to have is probably at the end of this thing will probably be me and Jennifer having a long talk over how we're going to handle this, because that's a main road. We can't lose 2 or 3 foot of it. It's going to cost a lot of money because they're doing a couple of miles, I guess, down through there, 3 miles, whatever. Had another incident on John Birch Road where a private contractor and a private, I guess, real estate type company building houses, they just cut the road and put their water line in, didn't tell us what they were doing. We typically bore those, but they open cut the road. Nobody knew about it until I found it today, and we're working through that. So long story short, we're probably gonna have to start cracking down on some of these people because this has gotta kinda stop, because they're costing the county way too much money trying to repair the roads after they screw them up. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Any questions for Mr. Higgins?
Yeah, somebody from the water department finally returned my call today after several days, and they told me that that project eventually will go,
All the way to Hampton County.
all the way, but they didn't have a timeline or anything like that. I know some of it they're waiting on grant funding, but there's gotta be some formal process or something that we can hold them to at least have you look at the engineering plans.
They should have given me a copy of the plans to review and make comments on, which they did not. And, when we go under main roads, I want the pipe sleeved, otherwise we end up with situations like they had on 111, and we've had inside this county in a few places, and we've had to go in, the road fell in, we had to fix it. And, they acted like they weren't gonna put the sleeves on there, and I said, well, you can do what I asked you to do, or I'm gonna go see what I need to do to shut this project down. So, I mean, I don't know what else, but we're just gonna have to they're gonna have to understand, Tennessee American does this, they call us, they do they take care of us, they know what we want. The Signal Mountain's the same way, they call us, but we still got a few outliers that we're gonna have to
So
start.
this is on county right of way?
Yes, sir.
And what's to stop you from going out there and saying, no, stop, right this
I
minute?
can tell them to stop, and I give them an option, and if they continue, they're gonna get stopped. And then I've told
I
them.
mean, is there something that we need to do as a commission body to put rules?
Well, I'm
or
probably gonna
laws
write a
or-
letter, but I'm probably gonna have to get with Jennifer, and then we're gonna have to see how it needs to be worded, and who sent it to, because they were right next to the road today, I took pictures of it, I'm having to mark these places, and like I said, I gotta keep somebody out there to mark where they're getting close to the road. It's gonna break off, it's happened all over the county, where we've been dealing with this for the past few years.
Well, I mean, they should at least be able to recover the cost of the labor
Yes.
we've spent out there, you know, however
Yeah.
much an hour we're doing, plus county resources.
Yeah.
They
But
should
this
at
one's
least
gonna be an
reimburse us for
expensive
that.
one, this one will be, this will be an expensive one, it's gonna cost a lot of money if they keep doing what they're doing.
Eric, the one on John Burge, right? They didn't ask for permission, they just cut the road.
They just cut it, we had no idea they were there.
Right. So is there any way to recoup?
Yeah, the guy called me today and I told him he's gonna have to dig up what he did and sleeve the pipe he put under the road. And, we'll go from there. And he's agreeable to it, he's a nice guy, really nice. Me and Pete talked about it earlier, I didn't know him, and super nice, and, you know, the local guy that used to work at the city did it, but I would've thought he knew to do the sleeving, cause we don't want a road spot. If you get a water line break, it's gonna eat the road out, it's gonna make it fall in just like on 111.
And over the years, typically Jennifer Mitchell or other county attorneys have been involved, and really, you know, that makes them sit up and pay attention. We get a letter from her or whatever, so it,
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do
involve her,
that.
yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do something like that, because that one in particular, they just kinda wanna do what they want to, and they don't wanna incorporate what we need incorporated out there. I want them to stay off the road a minimum of 5 feet. So far, that's been a no, so we're out there marking the places that I know are probably gonna break, and they're gonna have to come back and fix
Well,
it.
you should be able to force them to do that. I mean,
Yes.
that's our property.
It is, but I just found out, I just seen it today, and I'm gonna have to get with her so we can get that took care of.
Well, to kind of piggyback what Jeff said, I mean, is there anything this governing body can do, from, I don't know, it's a four-letter word, or zoning or anything that could help alleviate this and force people's hands to plant, because building subdivisions and building everything else is not gonna slow down, it does not look like.
No, and they can't, and see, we were gonna pave 2 miles of that road this year out there, but we had to pull it back because we had some other things come up we had to fix. Thank goodness that happened. Otherwise, they've been out there cutting the road up. A brand new paved road, that would've cost, you know, a little over $200,000, and we didn't get that kind of money to waste.
So I'm still at a loss as to why you can't tell them
We
to
can.
stop immediately.
We can.
And go back and you said 5
And
feet
they were,
off
I
the
told
road,
them if
make
they
them
didn't
fix
do,
it.
I told them today if they didn't do what I asked, they would get a letter to cease until they got their act together.
Yeah, unfortunately, our avenue would be in the courts. And I mean, that's where it's at.
Right, but we could stop this immediately, and then they can take it up in court,
Kind of
and at
justice.
least that way they stop the, you stop the bleeding
Jennifer,
that way.
any
Yeah.
comment?
You would have to get a restraining, I mean, we'd have to get a restraining order. This is the first I'm hearing of it too, you know,
Yeah,
it
I
just
just
happened.
became
It just
aware
happened,
of it.
obviously, so.
Yeah, we had no idea they were coming in here. The engineer came out, called them, and I said, why didn't y'all send us a copy of the plans? They said, well, the water company's the one that hired us. I said, yeah, but you're all over my right of way. I said, you're gonna get to go back and fix all this now. You're gonna do it the way we want it. We'll dig it back up if we have to. This is the kinda, I mean, it's kinda getting wild here lately. There's so much going on. It's keeping me tied up dealing with nonsense like that when I need to be doing other things. Now I've got a guy tied up and a truck tied up out there, having to watch them constantly.
Chester,
We should shut
Chester had a
that
good
down and
idea.
get an agreement. I would shut that down now and say, look, we're gonna fix what you've done, and you're gonna pay for having a supervisor out there. I mean, contractors pay the state of Tennessee all the time to have, one of their supervisors out there. We should be doing that, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I don't want for you to come back here 6 months or a year from now asking this body for money to go fix something that they screwed up. Stop it now. I would go out there at 8 o'clock in the morning with a letter, stop until we get this addressed. I wouldn't let this go further.
Yeah.
And if you need me, I'll be glad to go with you.
Take Chester with you. They'll gladly stop if you take him.
Now, Chester, you don't take
Threaten to
that.
leave him with them.
I've been both before, so it don't
We'll
matter.
do it. I plan on getting with Jennifer tomorrow when she gets a minute.
I think you would have to get a restraining order. I don't think you do it by 8
Well,
o'clock in the
well,
morning.
then who would issue that?
The chancellor.
Then I would go down there at his door at 7:59 in the morning and ask for that, and then go up there at 8 o'clock with a restraining order.
She covers 6 counties, and I doubt she would appreciate it at 8 o'clock in the morning, but she would certainly entertain. And when you start when you start with a restraining order, we need to make sure we got our ducks in a row. So this is the first I've heard about it, so we don't need to
This is
just
new.
go
This
in there and
just
start
sprung
slapping
up,
things on people.
Just in the last day or two, really, basically.
Yeah, so we need to make sure we
Don't
have
use the word
communicated.
Huh?
Yeah,
properly.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
there needs to be a mechanism for the future to keep this from happening again. And this is, and Mr. Barger is exactly right. This isn't just this water company. It's other developers and everything else that are going out here that are just saying, oh, well, laissez-faire, we'll just dig up, do whatever we want to, and deal with the consequences later. And of course, they end up creating bigger messes than what should have been started with, and we end up holding the bag with that. That's not right.
Sounds like a codes and zoning issue.
No, it's our property. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's county right away. I mean, code zoning, we own it. Don't screw with it. This is our property. Don't mess with it without our permission.
Well, I think Mr. Higgins is doing an admirable job of working daily on site. I know he's spent quite a few
I've
hours.
been out there all weekend and everything with them.
So, and I've got Linda and Chester out there hawking that pretty good,
I
so.
mean, that one guy we got out there doing that, he could fill potholes. There's plenty of those going around.
Yeah, I had a guy on one mountain said he hit a pothole, and I drove the whole road. There's no potholes nowhere, so I'm not sure where he hit the
I'm just
pothole.
messing with you,
It
Eric.
might have been a fentanyl ferret running around. I don't know.
Any other questions for Eric that are worth asking?
If Eric
Susan.
needs it,
I
Eric,
said one for Jeff.
Okay.
we appreciate you, Eric, if you
Questions
need
for
help.
Chester, why is it we always have trouble on your mountain?
Because Chester's on that mountain.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
But just speaking truth, District 1 is, that's the fastest growing district.
It is.
And it's going
And I
to
know
be.
that water line's needed. I mean,
Just the proximity to Hamilton County is going to make it so. So anyway, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Director of Schools, Sarah.
Mr. Ruling advised me I better be quick tonight.
I'll get you through.
Thank you for remembering longtime educator Mr. Barker. I know that his family would appreciate that, and certainly on behalf of the school system we do. I've given you all a handout with some information for you, but I want to share with you some of the good things happening in our school system. I have to say, every time I'm in front of you, that I want to thank you all for awarding us growth dollars. We're very aware that you didn't have to do that. It is much appreciated. I want to commend you on that effort and assure you that that went directly into the paychecks of our paraprofessional educators. You may have seen in the Tribune this week that we've been assigned a Homeland Security agent, Special Agent Chandler Cook. I hope to bring him and introduce him to you all. He's just for Sequatchie County Schools, and we're thankful the governor has given him to us. He's a great fit for us. We continue to look for bus drivers. We are hiring. If you know anybody willing to work that job, please send them my way. Very soon, the Department of Education from Nashville will release report cards, and they will score our individual schools and our school system as a whole. I've been privy to some preview data. There's some high spots and there's some sore spots, if I'm being honest with you. You're going to see that when it goes public and the embargo is lifted. Until then, I want to encourage you to take a look at the graduation data when you see that, and you'll know what I mean when it's released. Also, I want to remind everybody in this room that every student and every teacher is much more than a single test score. I'm really, really proud of some of the extracurricular activities that we offer. Our cross-country team just recently competed in the state meet in Hendersonville. Our girls placed 15 out of 30 teams, and our boys placed 19 out of 31. I'm so proud of those kids. They worked really hard. Our Future Farmers of America, I wish those families had stayed. They just competed in horse judging and placed 9 out of 100 teams in the state of Tennessee. Good things are happening. You may have seen in the news, football team is hosting another round this Friday night. We will host Meigs County in playoffs. Also, for the first annual welding contest, we're going to host that this Saturday at our high school, 9 o'clock if you're available. Come see the good things that are happening. I invite you. A lot of you have been in the buildings and visited us. Thank you for that. It's very encouraging to see the community come and ask questions and visit around. We appreciate it. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Quick and efficient.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sarai. The High Sheriff, Bill Phillips.
Good evening. So I just got a happy end of the year report on just a couple of fronts I wanted to pass along. We'll keep these on for a little bit. First, I'll start out with the jail because we had, as we've talked about before, we were accredited on the inaugural year that the state started doing that, which was 2 years ago. That first year, we were one of only 5 jails in the state out of 108 to pass and be accredited. Just the way that it worked out, as we understand, we were the first jail they came to that actually passed the inspection, which made us the first jail in the state to be accredited. Last year, we were reaccredited for the second year, and then in October, we were again inspected and passed again, this time getting 20 out of 20 to be accredited for a third year. I know for the second year there were 13 jails in the state out of 108. I'm not sure what that number goes to with this new round, but we are now accredited for our third year, and as we've talked about before, that helps us in many ways. In the beginning, it brings in more money in the board fees and all that we bring in. It also can help us a lot in the midst of the lawsuit to have that accreditation. Also in the jail we now have a backpack program for the homeless inmates. So they have a saying from jails and prisons. A lot of times when they go up, instead of going, you know, your time's up, you've been bonded or whatever, you're released, they go up and say you're kicking rocks. And the reason for that is that many of these inmates, because of their addiction for years, have burnt the bridges that lead home or lead to their friends or lead to whoever else they may have gone to. So when they leave the jails, they are homeless, which usually ends up with them not much longer coming back to our jail. So our jail was able to get with the Fellowship of Churches, and they started what is called the backpack program. And so what they're doing is they are providing backpacks that will have items that someone who doesn't really have a place to go, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, a brush, and maybe a few snacks or something to hold them off until they can figure out what they're going to be doing. So we got that program initiated, and it is underway. We also brought in Michael De Leon with Steered Straight, and we brought him into the schools just a couple of months ago. He was able to come in and spoke to the middle school and the high school students. Phenomenal business that he runs, and really something. We got a lot of the kids came up to us after the presentation, and we're just really excited about being able to have this guy and listen to the stories that he can tell and what his business does. So we have him now coming to the jail on December the 23rd, and he'll be coming to meet with all of our inmates and do his thing and the Steered Straight thing there in the jail. So that's it on the jail. On the SAFE program, for any of you who may not know, that's our program that we initiated when we came into office 2 years ago, and that's SAFE, S-A-F-E, that's Sequatchie's addiction-free environment. On the front end of that, our enforcement has been very, very successful, as I'm sure most of you have seen on the news or on Facebook or in the Tribune or whatever. But you know, we were able to make some pretty good size busts for quite a while. We still have some of those. We don't publicize as many of those as much as we did in the beginning. In the beginning, we wanted to just get the information out there that, hey, this really is a problem that we have to address. But there came a point to where we don't want to normalize it. So we don't want kids to see this and think, okay, this is what I grow up to. So we're strategically publicizing what we think we should with that. So we've been very fortunate on that, and that success continues. Both with our patrol section as well as our narcotics unit. We're also, through the program, getting more and more training for both patrol and narcotics in narcotics type training. That will continue through the future. We are working on the programs in the jail that I talked about, like Steered Straight coming in, the backpack program and all that through the SAFE program. And we currently have several folks in rehab, whether they were inmates who then decided to go to rehab, or maybe some people who had not been charged and came to us, and we were able to get them into a place. Matter of fact, we worked with one last week and helped his family, and he went to rehab at 8 o'clock this morning. So other than that, all I got is Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. Yes, sir.
Bill, I just saw some report about the major cities, these Venezuelan gangs and stuff that are coming in. And
I thought that might come up.
And I was wondering are you foreseeing any impact in our county?
Well, we can't say that we've seen anything specifically here, but we had, on Friday, we had a lot of information sent to us from the Sheriff's Association, and it came from the TBI and other agencies. So I spent a couple hours today looking through and reading some of that stuff, and you know, like where the gang initiated, and you know, kind of what they do. They're really, really big on sex trafficking. That's a big thing of theirs. They're big on the coyote type things. So, and what that is they will get other families in South America that want to bring a loved one to the United States, and they'll go, okay, we'll bring them over for $5,000. So they'll pay them $5,000. They'll bring them in. For some reason, Chattanooga is a hot spot to bring them to, and then they're supposed to go on to Oklahoma. But in Chattanooga, they'll put them in what they call a safe house, and they'll call the family in Oklahoma and go, we got them in the United States. If you want them to your place, it's gonna cost you another $5,000. A lot of families can't come up with that money, and a lot of times they find those people dead along the interstates, somewhere between here and Nashville or, wherever. But they're a very violent gang. They are compared to MS-13. And like I say, fortunately, we haven't experienced anything here that we could say we can tie to them, but they will be close to here because we have 75 and 24 meeting in Chattanooga. And that's where your dope comes from, and that's where your gangs come from, and that's where a lot of stuff comes from. So we are, we're training right now and on what needs to be done to prepare for it.
Just as of right now, you've not seen any encroachment in our areas?
No, I haven't seen anything that I can say would be related to that. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, is there any elected official that I've left out? Typically Kendra or some of those folks may be here. I don't want to miss anybody. Don't see anybody, so moving on, Mr. Sheldon with Ag.
A couple of things. We are halfway through our club year, or in-school clubs. We broke 700 enrollment, which that's 4th through 8th grade. We've not had that high of an enrollment, and I don't know. Went back to the records 10 years and we hadn't reached that level since then anyway. Maybe a little further back than that. So we do have a really good enrollment and good participation in our 4-H program. We're wrapping up speech contest and a few other things in the next couple of weeks. The other item that I do want to bring up is I do have a vacancy. Ms. Dusty Ragland, who is our 4-H agent, is taking another job, and so we'll be looking for a 4-H agent starting the first of the year. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sheldon. Appreciate it. Ms. Sherry with Audit.
Good evening. The audit committee did meet this morning, and we had no business that came before the audit committee, but we did have some housekeeping that happened a couple of months ago. The commissioners had received an email stating what the findings were from the prior audit. The two findings, one was the highway department and another one was with the county commission. So there were two findings in that audit. The auditor has came in and said that it needed to be made public record, even though the audit, Mr. Venero, the chairman, did mention it. She didn't feel like it was clear that you all were aware that there were two findings and that correction plans have been made for that. So we need to make that part of the record, that you all did receive that email and you all were aware of the two findings and corrective actions were made.
Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate it. It's just some housekeeping we needed to do. And like I said, we've got a tough auditor this year. That was from the year ending June 30, 23 years. So anyway, just to make a point on that. Okay, Janice could not be with us tonight with the chamber. Prayers with her family, with Heath tonight. Ms. Rodman with the librarian.
Mr. Wayne told me to be quick tonight, or he was going to throw things at me, so I'll be quick. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their support and everything, because this past month we did lose our precious Betty Worley. The support and love that was shown to Jimmy and her family and all of us was greatly appreciated. I am finding that I can't fit everything at the library on front and back, so you may need a trifold next time, I don't know. One thing I just wanted to point out was last month our Friends of the Library put on their book sale, and usually we run between $4,000 and $6,000 a year that they made, and this year they made $10,000. So thank everybody who participated in that. All that money comes back to the library, and I have big plans for that. We're going to upscale our seating area in the library and some more circulation items, and we're going to spruce up the outside of the library. So that's all I have. Was it quick? Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Dr. Pickett, Valley Fest, any good word from that organization?
Yes, the money is granted but not in hand. So we've not made a lot of progress. We're waiting. Highway Department's agreed to help us. We'll start doing some paving as soon as we get release of the funds.
Very good. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, Fist of Fury, Mr. Joe Dunn with Puckett, sir. Come on up. Many of you don't know Joe's quite the boxer around Chattanooga area.
Yes, sir. Participated in the Guns and Hoses about 2 weeks ago. So it's a good event.
And did well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Did well, recognized.
Yeah, they bounced me back and forth. Represent red or blue.
You mess with me, Nisha sitting right here. So.
Yeah, I'm pleased to announce I did a little bit better than Mike Tyson, if anybody watched it. So back in September, I provided an update. We had our largest paramedic class graduate, which is pretty humbling. I'm pleased to announce 4 of those went through the National Registry, passed, also got their state license. So here on B shift, which is coming up 2 days, today's C shift. C shift, we have Micaiah Gayton, got her paramedic. B shift, Colton Mate and Abby Benton. Abby Benton also got her FTO as well. And then Evan Bates, he'll be on A shift. So it's nice to know that 30% of the guys that came out of this paramedic class are out here in the Valley. Back in September, we did a CPR class. We actually did 2 at the City Hall. They were great. Anytime there's a church or a school that wants another CPR class, we'll be more than happy to come out. Lone Oak just started about a month ago, responding again. So special thanks to those guys. You'll be seeing some of our Puckett crews work with them here in the near future on some training. And then a little bit of the last update I've got is the end of the summer, we opened a station in Soddy Daisy. We started looking at demand on the computer and noticing where some transports come out. So we added another truck to that location. And it's actually helped out here in between traffic and some of the transports out of the hospital. So 94 out of the hospital and approximately 7 911 calls on the mountain that they were actually closer to. Is there any questions?
Thank you, JD. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, 911 Director Brian Rudin, anything from the emergency side?
I'll be the quickest. No, we're moving forward and doing great.
Good report.
Thanks, Brian.
IDB, Pam or AJ wants to speak.
I'm going to be fast because I know you all want that. So we have been in the midst of doing scope of works for the Carlisle project. And I'm excited about that. We did that a few months ago, and then we were awarded the VOPE grant, which is up to $100,000, and that's for mitigation only. And what that is putting forth whether we have to have phase 1, phase 2. And then, so we went ahead and we were asked to do another scope of work. So we don't know the amount of the VOPE. It's up to $100,000, so I'm hoping we get $100,000, and I'm waiting on any day to hear that. And so next after that will be the BRAG grant, which we were awarded the BRAG grant also when we were awarded the VOPE grant, and is up to $500,000, and it is for cleanup only. So we're still waiting on that one. It's state of Tennessee, so you know how that goes, TDEC and all that. And so we also have $25,000 that we're getting from the city Brownsville grant, which they had some overage, and they have allowed us to do that. So it's just we're at a standpoint of just waiting to understand our numbers to be awarded, and then we will go forth with our phase 1, phase 2, and hopefully that's it. No more phases. So I'll keep you all abreast. Thank you.
Any questions for Pam?
Yes, Pam, I think I can ask one. When you on your phase 1 and 2, how are we gonna go through that thing when you've got your trucks and stuff are still sitting on the property? When are you gonna remove those to do the phase?
So we have already put the word out that as soon as we get the amounts, then everything has to be gone.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah. So we're just waiting on that amount, and I've already put the word out, and everybody's doing all they can do, so I'm sure it will be done in a timely fashion where we can get started, because we can't do anything until everything's gone. So that's a good question.
Thank you.
Hey Jay, I think they're working on audit as we speak, aren't they, for the IDB? I got notification that they're
Yes,
going to
sir.
work on that, and everything looking good. So
Audit is ongoing and giving them all the information they asked for.
very good. Thank you both.
Thank you to Andrew.
Yeah. All right. Moving over to JP with the veterans. Come forward, sir.
So you have the report in hand. As I briefed a couple months ago, we've done very well on numbers this year, better than I forecast. We're either at or very close to last year's numbers already, or in some cases over. Let's see. Continuing to work through the legislative process. Now that election season's over, should be able to move forth with that. Also, I've been asked by the VFW commander and American Legion commander to brief you on the grant that was generously given by the county toward our building improvement. We have used that to purchase some flooring improvements, an awning for the side of the building so we can do outdoor cookouts and fundraisers, and also a 5x8 foot LED road sign. So we'll be able to advertise events and so forth. So on behalf of the VFW and American Legion, I'd like to thank the commission again for your generous donation. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Children. Appreciate you. All right, Mike Scoggins with the rescue squad.
I just wanted to touch base and let you and the commissioners know that we are adding a rehab truck to our fleet. It's actually there. It can roll any time now that it's called. We're updating things to it now. That means any emergency service, whether it's us, Lone Oak, Lewis Chapel, any fire department that needs a rehab truck that carries drinks, snacks for the fire departments, police officers, that's what it's used for. All we do is get the tone to take the truck, and we take the truck and roll with it.
Great.
We'll keep updating it to newer things. We've traveled from county to county to look at different rehab trucks, so we're gonna try to fix it like theirs.
Any questions for Mike?
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Miss Margie with CASA. Margie, I'm sorry.
Over here. I want to come in tonight and just thank you. I want to thank the commission for all of the support that you have provided for CASA. I know we have a couple of new commissioners, and I've provided you with an info sheet that gives a little bit of a breakdown of the numbers and what it is that CASA does and the impact that Sequatchie County has made and the difference that you have made in some children's lives. So this evening, after I will stay until the end, and if some of the new people have any questions or would like some more information about the program, I'll be more than glad to answer those questions. But just want to say that 8 years that we've been doing this, CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. We're part of a national nonprofit organization that advocates on behalf of abused and neglected children in the court system. We're appointed by the juvenile judges, and we serve Sequatchie, Grandie, Marion, and Bledsoe County. This year, we had the opportunity. It was a lot of growth and it was a lot of work, but we started as an umbrella organization, and effective July 1st of this year, we became an independent organization, and we are now CASA of the Sequatchie Valley. And but this impact goes back, containing all of the information from since 2016 when we first started. And again, I just want to tell you thank you. Thank you for your words of advice, for your support, for the support the commission gives us and the county. We wouldn't be able to do this or make the difference in these children's lives if it wasn't for y'all. So again, thank you.
Thank you for those kind words. Okay, TJ, I don't know if you or Paul want to handle this. We've got a little action item through sanitation I know we need to handle. That was with the adoption of the procedures and policy of the out of county garbage.
So on behalf of the sanitation committee, in your packet there was a scope of the out of county trash program that we want to get started. Sanitation committee, we looked at this scope and went through it a couple months ago, came back up tonight in front of the sanitation committee, and we're bringing that forward to the full commission in recommendation that we as a county legislative body pass this scope and start to address the out of county garbage coming into our county to our convenience centers. This year we are expecting to eclipse 6,000 tons of trash into our county. And when you multiply that at $45 a ton, $50 a ton, just do the math. And you understand what kind of a problem we have. A lot of this is coming across the border from Hamilton County, especially in at Lewis Chapel and Lone Oak. We're seeing it every single day. So every time this happens, it's a cost to us. So the sanitation committee urges the commission to faithfully pass this, and let's try to curb our costs and at least try something different. And that's in form of a motion from the sanitation committee.
I'll second that.
We have a second from J-Mac. Now, because this is an action item, I want to entertain a motion first, backing up proceeding is to waive the 5-day rule.
So moved.
I have a motion from J-Mac, a second from Mr. Clemens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The 5-day rule is hereby waived. Now, we have a motion, subsequent motion on the floor and a second to adopt the procedures set forth through the letter to the commission. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussions relative to that?
So I've got one. How are we going, this is gonna take a year, are we doing this by tags, by stickers?
Yes.
So this is gonna take a year to fully
Correct.
come around and be,
We will start integrating it. Miss Charlotte, effective January 1, will finish the sticker. Miss Charlotte's office as volunteer Miss Charlotte. She's faithfully offered to help us with this. Each one will have a serial number, and it'll be associated to each person's tag that is a resident of this county.
Okay.
If you have 5 vehicles, you get 5 tags. So it's gonna be tied to the tag of your vehicle. And so, Miss Charlotte, her staff will look, make sure the person is a resident of the county. Once that is satisfied, she'll hand that over. She will do it as people renew. If someone needs them quicker, they're welcome to come to our office and she will facilitate that right away. What we may do, and we talked a little bit about this, the meeting prior to sanitation, is we may even have some opportunities where we go out to the sanitation locations on a Saturday and actually try to help get these in their hands even quicker. But that's all based on Miss Charlotte giving us all the documentation we need to do that.
okay.
And it's important to note that it's no additional cost to the taxpayer.
No additional cost to the taxpayer, no additional cost on your registration.
And in addition to that, we're looking at possibly putting cameras at each sanitation center should a conflict arise, which it will. There's no question it will. So.
Correct.
Well, we don't need no cameras on our side, we need more work, but, you know, if you're an employee and been up there so many years, you pretty well know who to talk to and who the people are. And I've never had no conflict as far as, you know, anybody disagreeing or against me. And I could send them out the gate just like when you come in.
Let the record state that Chester Shell's never been in conflict with anybody on Lewis Chapel Mountain.
Hey.
Council.
And let the record show that they are gonna implement cameras, so we will know what's going on at each individual center.
The covers everybody. The cameras are not, I got you. The cameras are there for security and safety of everybody there. And so if someone does not want to comply, you can simply refer them to this is being taped and it'll be dealt with properly. Jeff Mackey, he gave us some ideas around cameras and even plate readers. We'll go through that and see what's exactly needed. And so we're gonna make this safe for everyone. It's not to watch over operators, Chester.
And I know, but I've said where a lot of people, they can tell us about, but.
It's all right.
Over our mountain, this is just plain simple, but you know, like me, I don't care, you know, you know what I do, it's not very little, but, you know, but you know, I still work, but, you know, I don't care if cameras watch of me, but, you know, some people, you know how it is.
My question is, if a Hamilton County tag shows up out there, you're gonna turn it back?
The operator will kindly say,
That's right.
this is Sequatchie residents only, there's gonna be no confrontation, and that's gonna come straight from the county executive.
It could happen. I mean, somebody that's a resident here could have Hamilton County plates. If you buy a car in Hamilton County, you're
That's
gonna
my
get a Hamilton
thought,
County plate.
but you can always ask for the driver's license.
Correct,
See,
there's a
that-
line of questioning,
See,
You shouldn't get a Hamilton County plate if you buy one over there.
But
Mr.
She
Briggs.
can actually issue them a Sequatchie County sticker if they come in and ask for it.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah, because she'll verify the address.
That's correct.
basically what she
They've got the sticker now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yours probably we have people come from England, North Carolina, and just, Washington DC or something. But you know, when you first come in and move into your house, you got to clean your junk out. So I think that, when you get somebody out moving that far, you gotta ask them their address, wherever they live at. And if they pretty well correspond on the first time, you know, we might get in there and back out.
We are not a police state yet, so
I can't
there'll be a
believe
lot
it.
of gray, and we employ good people at these sites to, you know, the
Use
really
good
two
judgment.
problems are Signal and Lewis Chapel.
And use good
because
judgment,
they're-
don't create a diversion when you know what you can work around it, without causing trouble. 'Cause new people, you know, they have no idea where to come to the first two times they come in there.
I'm gonna call for the question. We have a motion second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I vote yes.
Motion hereby passed. Did you vote no, Judge?
Did you vote no?
Huh. I
Keith,
told
my
you, Cameron.
company will donate a demo
okay.
unit of cameras to the Lewis Chapel. We'll take that out there for a demo. We'll put that up this week.
Make sure the big one.
Okay, before we get to Mr. Barger, anything with legal, Counselor?
No.
We can talk about in public. All right.
I guess just me and her's gonna get together. Funny, speaking, I'm gonna say one thing, I know you gotta go. I just got a text message from the engineering company that's doing the engineering work out there, and they said they revised the plans, got them to them this evening with the 5-foot minimum and the sleeving of the pipes going under the road, so.
Very
See
good.
how that works.
Very good.
Thank you, Eric.
Any other committee that I left out, that I skipped over? If not, Chairman Barger with the Budget Committee, come forward, sir. I know it's been a long meeting. We're sitting kind of about an hour right now, so we'll try to wrap it up pretty quick going through our new business.
So there, are you telling me to talk fast? Is that what you're saying? All right. The Budget Committee did meet this evening. We did have a couple of transfers to go over first. We'll just kind of go right down the agenda and go through these. This comes as a motion from the Budget Committee. Everyone should have a copy of some of these transfers. This is transferring from 101, 39,000 fund balance, a sum total of $500, and transferring that to 58, 300, 320, the veterans dues and membership fees.
You've heard the motion. Do I hear a second? I've got a second from Mr. Powell. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion hereby passes. Mr. Barger.
All right, next transfer that the Budget Committee considered, and this is also a motion from the Budget Committee to transfer from Budget Code 101 from 39,000 general fund, a sum total of $4,800, transferring that to 54, 110, 140, that same amount, $4,800, that is the sheriff's salary supplements.
And these supplements will be reimbursed through a grant through the state, so just FYI. You've heard the motion. Do I hear a second? I've got a second from Mr. Breland. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion hereby passes. Mr. Barger.
All right. The last item on the transfer side was transferring from Budget Code 101, 39,000 fund balance, transferring the $5,500, transferring that to 52,400, 207. That's trustee medical insurance line item. This was an open enrollment, and the employee took the medical insurance.
Has one person take it during open enrollment. You've heard the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Hearing none, because it exceeds $5,000, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Linda Lewandowski.
Yes.
Chester Shell.
Yes.
Brian Ruling.
Yes.
Lane Lane.
Yes.
James Freeland.
Yes.
Brian Walker. Joyce Dodson. Yes. James Wilson.
Yes.
Jeff Barger.
Yes.
Paul Powell.
Yes.
Michael Hudson.
Yes.
June Dishman. Yes. Frank Silver.
Yes.
Susie Bossick. Yes. Wayne Clemens.
Yes.
Tommy Johnson.
Yes.
Tom Nero. Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
The transfer hereby passes. Mr. Barker.
All right. The next item that the budget committee talked about, and this came as a motion from the road committee along to the budget committee, and that is the highway department surplus request. There was 2 vehicles on that list. Everyone should have had a copy of that. There was a Cat and a John Deere. And it's a motion from the budget committee to surplus those 2 items.
You've heard the motion. Have a second from Mr. Powell. Any questions? Hearing none, because these amounts could exceed $5,000. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Linda Landowski.
Yes.
Chester Shell.
Yes.
Brian Ruling.
Yes.
Blaine Lang.
Yes.
James Freeland.
Yes.
Joyce Dodson. Yes. James Wilson.
Yes.
Jeff Barger.
Yes.
Paul Powell.
Yes.
Michael Hudson.
Yes.
Jim Dishman. Yes. Frank Silver.
Yes.
Susie Bossick. Yes. Wayne Clemens.
Yes.
Tommy Johnson.
Yes.
Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Motion hereby passes. Mr. Barker.
All right. Next item that the budget committee considered, and this came as a form of a motion, was the Buildings and Grounds Committee had opened, there was 2 bids to award the health department roof repair. And there was 2 bids. One was $26,000, I believe it was, and the other one was $18,000. The budget, or the Buildings and Grounds Committee made a motion to the Budget Committee, and the Budget Committee makes the motion on to the original committee, the County Commission, that we accept the Dawes Building Supply bid of $18,511.87.
You've heard the motion. I've got a second from Mr. Shell. Any questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Linda Landowski. Yes. Chester Shell.
Yes.
Brian Ruling.
Yes.
Blaine Lang.
Yes.
James Freeman.
Yes.
Joyce Dodson. Yes. James Wilson.
Yes.
Jeff Barger.
Yes.
Paul Powell.
Yes.
Michael Hudson.
Yes.
June Dishman. Yes. Frank Silver.
Yes.
Susie Bossick. Yes. Wayne Clemens.
Yes.
Tommy Johnson.
Yes.
And Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Okay, motion hereby passes. Mr. Barker.
All right. Also, the Budget Committee considered a motion that came from the Buildings and Grounds to move forward with the purchase of 2.8 acres and a house. That is Lorraine Williams Ayers property acquisition. And that was for, the motion was for the accepted proposal of $400,000.
You've heard the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second from
Give it a
Wayne Clemens. Had his hand up first. We have a motion and a second. Any questions and or discussion?
Yeah, I just want to repeat what I said in the committee. We bought a lot of land in this area. Some folks said, do we have access? And we do. For the health department, the hospital is considering perhaps doing an extension. We don't know what the details about that are. But my position on buying land would be, we don't have a plan. Not only do we not have a plan, we don't have a goal for what kind of hospital service we need in this community for the growth that we're experiencing. So I cannot vote yes for this, because it doesn't make any sense to me. And I gotta do my best to represent my constituents in my district on this.
Point taken, Ms. Lewandowski.
I'm going to reiterate what I said in the meeting, and I believe that anytime we have an opportunity in the county to purchase real estate that could potentially benefit us in the long term, we have an obligation to do so. In this particular case, that 2.8 acres, including the house over there, could be a very big benefit to us. The bottom line with that is, in the case of real estate, is it's not going to go down in value, it's only going to go up, and if we decide we don't need that in the future, we can sell that. So to me, there's not a risk on that side of that financially for the county to do so, but we have everything to gain because it gives us more options as to the hospital and the expansion thereof. So therefore, I will be voting in support of that piece of property purchase.
Point taken. Anyone else?
Yes, I'd like to let Mr. Mackey know that the state of Tennessee says we're not in the real estate business.
The state of Tennessee said that?
That's the district attorney, correct.
Okay.
We're not in
Point
the real
taken.
estate business, we've been doing something against the law for a long time, because we see opportunity, we have to take advantage of it where we can. And I think this opportunity right here is gonna be one that we have to look at down the road. And I'm gonna vote in support of purchasing the property, because the assets of what we already own.
I agree, call for the vote.
Okay, call for the question. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, will roll call.
Linda Lewandowski,
No.
Chester Shell,
No.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Lane Lane,
Yes.
James Freeland,
Yes.
Brian Walker,
No.
Joyce Dodson,
Yes.
James Wilson,
Yes.
Jeff Barber,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
Michael Hudson,
Yes.
June Dishman,
Yes.
Frank Silver,
Yes.
Susie Bostic,
Yes.
Wayne Clemmons,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Motion to acquire hereby passes. Mr. Barker.
All right. One last item that the budget committee was considering, and before we move on to this one, we probably need a vote to waive the 5-day rule.
Entertain that motion. Have a motion from Mr. Powell, a second from J. Mack. All in favor say aye of waiving that 5-day rule.
Aye.
All opposed, said 5-day rule is hereby waived. Mr. Barker.
All right. This came through road committee and through budget committee, and this is a motion, and this came in the form of a motion to propose to give the county executive authority to transfer up to $50,000 under county-wide emergency conditions to the Sequatchie County Highway Department.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Need understanding.
I would just say that this will allow the county executive to meet an emergency, such as a snow emergency, a flood emergency that may wash out a road, without having to come through committees and through the commission to appropriate funds to fix a highway out there that may need to be done in a big hurry. Our road superintendent gave a very good explanation as to how that would benefit us in a snow emergency and being able to hire private contractors to help with the plowing in the county should we have another snow event that happens, like what happened back in January. I also look at the flooding and things that had happened in East Tennessee with the Hurricane Helene that came through here, and there may be roads and tiles that get washed out, and he needs quick approval to be able to get some extra funding to get those repaired, and I think this is a good solution to that because it can be handled very quickly with a phone call.
Any other comment? We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Linda Lewandowski,
Yes.
Chester Shell,
Yes.
Brian Ruling,
Yes.
Lane Lane,
Yes.
James Freeland,
Yes.
Brian Walker,
Yes.
Joyce Dodson,
Yes.
James Wilson,
Yes.
Jeff Barker,
Yes.
Paul Powell,
Yes.
Michael Hudson,
Yes.
June Dishman,
Yes.
Frank Silver,
Yes.
Susie Bostic,
Yes.
Wayne Clemmons,
Yes.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
and Jeff Mackey.
Yes.
Okay, motion hereby passes. Thank you for your confidence in the office I hold. I think it's for a good cause and a good reason, so.
Big burden on your shoulders, Ricky. Carry it on.
Anything else, Mr. Barker?
I think that is all that the budget committee covered. One other thing that I want to kind of touch on, because Mr. Barker, I went to church with David Barker, very, very fine man, and it reminded me from the library, Miss Betty Worley. My daughters went through that entire program, and they dearly, dearly loved Miss Worley.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say those two things about two pillars of our community that we've lost in the last few years.
We got one more thing here, to go in. The opioid Intended
Yeah, we've not got to new business yet.
Oh, I'm
Just
sorry,
finished
I'm
the
sorry,
budget.
sorry, I thought we were.
Okay, moving forward to new business, commissioners, in your package, you should have received the Cagle Fredonia District of Sequatchie County's list of folks that they want to reappoint or appoint to their board. Roger Dale Sims is my choice. I'll entertain that name to be adopted. I'll entertain a motion for that. Mr. Breland, thank you for that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second from Mr. Powell. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of appointing Roger Dale Sims back to that board, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, said appointment hereby stands. All right. Okay, up next, Eric spoke on this earlier, the Sequatchie County Highway Department purchasing policy. Now, years ago, he brought this policy to us. It's been a couple of years ago. We've looked high and low. We could not find where we voting on accepting this purchasing policy, so it stands before you in your packet. I'll entertain a motion. Actually, it comes out of the road committee as a motion, does it not? Yes, it came out of the road committee.
Just have a full commission.
Have a full commission. So we've got a motion,
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Tommy Johnson to accept the purchasing policy.
I'll second.
We have a second from Mr. Barger. It's getting late, folks. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of this purchasing policy, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Purchasing policy hereby passes. Okay, one of the duties of my office is to recognize when there's a vacancy. We have a 4th District Constable vacancy notification. We do have constables, so tonight will be the official notification to the county legislative body that vacancy exists. So we will also run this in the paper. We have 120 days. I put some information relative to this in your packets. So I look to appoint someone in the January meeting. So with the blessing of the county legislative body. So I've asked Joyce Dotson, because of the district that is without a constable, to bring forth a name for us to his recommendation, and that's how that will proceed on. So just making that part of the notification process. Okay, move on here. Okay, the opioid settlement, next on our list. We've gotten in around $200,000 from the opioid settlement. It's in a restricted account. We can't spend it. We can't do anything with it until we bring forth recipients to this body to award those monies to be spent. Now, we anticipate this money will come in over the next 3 years. So we've gotten about $200,000. That money will slow down a little bit, but I anticipate to receive between $400,000 and $500,000. Now, the county executive has the authority to bring forth to this county legislative body that, or appoint a committee to do it. And you know what I did, I'm appointing a committee. So on that committee, Sheriff Bill Phillips. With the school system, Dr. Melissa Cordell, Commissioner Linda Lewandowski, Sethra employee Kelly Harmon, Marcella Danae Davis, and from our health department, Dr. Lindsay Hathcock. Now, guys, I had 7 names on here before today, but I had somebody to back out, so I want to reserve the right to come back and name a 7th member. And I saw Sheldon get up here earlier. Now, he may be the candidate, but I need to speak with him respectfully first. But that's who I'm putting forward, but I do need action accepting this committee adoption. So, Mr. Powell, would you make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second from Miss Susie. I saw you. We have a motion and a second to accept the opioid initiative committee. Any comments or questions?
What would be their scope?
Here's what they do. They actually do a lot of due diligence on finding, and I'm gonna try to keep it, not just put all the eggs in one basket, like preventative, but preventative education, and I think we have existing programs, and recovery. Recovery, somebody's gone through the recovery program, trying to settle in and find housing, that sort of thing. So it'll be split between, hopefully, those three items. We have a group from the state of Tennessee, the SMART organization. It's an acronym for something. Couldn't decide it to you right now. But they will guide us through this, and what this committee's function is to bring recipients to this county legislative body to vote yea or nay on approving them as a recipient of this. So there'll be a lot of work. It's a non-paying gig. I mean, everybody don't volunteer at once, but,
So will it be a standing committee of the commission, or will it be a?
actually, no, it'll be I'm gonna call it, it's
Ad
gonna
hoc?
kind of be sitting alone. I mean, I'm not a member of the committee, but I think we're well-rounded on who needs to be on there. We've got somebody from the
So
sheriff's.
reason I'm asking, they'll be meeting quarterly, annually,
Well,
or
that's
day
yet to
decided?
be determined, but we're gonna have one pretty quick to
Okay.
kind of get kicked off, and SMART will be here. That organization will be here to kind of help. We're just getting started. We've
Yeah.
allocated no monies, any of that, but that's gonna be over the next 3 years. We'll be giving this money away. This county legislative body will be doing that. So, any other questions? Okay, did we get a vote on that? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Said list of folks hereby passes. Okay, and I'm gonna give this to you, Madam Clerk, for your record, so you'll be opted on that. Okay, next, let's make sure I didn't miss anything, guys. Help me out here. The county executive to address the commission. This is with heavy heart that I'm reading this to you tonight, but I've got it to do. To D. Keith Cartwright, Sequatchie County Executive and the Sequatchie County Commission. Dear Mr. Cartwright, with this letter I am officially notifying you and the Sequatchie County Commission of my intention to retire. My final day of work will be January 28, 2025. After the last few years of my mother passing away, I've decided to move forward to the next chapter of my life. This decision did not come without a great deal of prayer and soul searching. Life is short, and at the end comes quicker than we think sometimes. My husband Randall and I hope to enjoy our time together. As I've always said, I have been blessed to have the job I truly love. I've been blessed to serve as the Sequatchie County Clerk for 22 years and 10 years employed by the as Deputy Clerk. 32 years of being in the County Clerk's office has been an adventure. I would like to thank County Executive Cartwright and the Commission, who have been wonderful to work with. Thank you for those kind words. I will be serving as the Sequatchie County Clerk until my retirement and hope the transition will be a smooth one. I have great faith in the people that I leave in Sequatchie County Clerk's office. The memories, the laughter, and the friendships are far too numerous to say that I have them in my heart. Sincerely, Charlotte Cagle. I didn't want to accept this. I put this off as long as we could. Can you say no? I guess. You know, we'll deal with this now remember in January we meet on the 4th Monday because of the federal holiday, President's Day. So we'll deal with that, and we'll bring a name forward. We have someone in-house, and I'm going to say Lana Waters is here, has filled in this position many times, and she'll be personally bring that name forward. She knows the job. It'll be flawless. She's qualified to do the job, and this, she'll be appointed, or someone will be appointed, we're assuming, you, Lana, but that'll be until the next countywide election, which is 2 years away. So, Charlotte, we hate to lose you, and hated to lose Randall, not as much Randall.
Sorry, Randall, we like her better.
You know, Charlotte's office is kind of the face of the county. Them in sanitation, more people from the county see those folks than they do anybody else. So, job well done, nice lady.
Can I say something, Mr. Cartwright?
You may, sir.
You know, in the oh, I'm going to, whether you like it or not. In the history of this, of Charlotte, 22 years, I was wondering which was gonna last longer, my marriage or, Miss Charlotte. And I think maybe, if my wife lets me live until the 29th day of January, I'll out-survive her. But we got married on the 31st day of August of 2002, and one of Charlotte's first things that she did as the county clerk was to file my marriage certificate to the missus who escaped out there. And known her all this time has just been absolutely one of the best. I talk about her all over the country to people. We got one of the best county clerks that have ever been out there, and I really like that, and I really appreciate all you've done for this county and the people thereof, and the charm that you bring to that office. It can't be understated how much we appreciate that. It's a change, we know. I think, and I'm hoping that your next in line will do as good of a job, but she's got a lot of high standards to hold. So thank you so much for being a part of that, and it's going to be a change, and I hope that you get to enjoy a lot of your retirement and go and see those trips out west that I know you talked about and everything else, and I know your husband's looking forward to that. But so thank you on behalf of this whole county. Thank you for all your service.
Thank you.
Well said, J. Mac, and we wish this grand lady well.
Thank you very much, Charlotte.
Job well done. So
Although
there'll be more, you guys can go by over the next month or two, get some.
Sorry, you know, although I was the best commissioner you ever seen, I still like it.
Trying to get my license.
Still got one other thing, of the appointment of notaries, Madam
Yes,
Clerk.
sir. We've got 9 of them. It is Christopher Allen Brown, Anna Kate Cates, Jessica Cisneros, Laura Marie Mills, Christina D. Plant, Janetta Reese, Nora J. St. Clair, Nicole Turner, and Courtney Wilson.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion from J. Mac, a second from Mr. Silver. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, said notaries are hereby accepted. Okay, any announcement from any of the county legislative bodies? I got one. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
We stand adjourned.